Hey everyone, Icey here, and first off, sorry that this isn't an audio-based video. I know a lot of you have been itching for a new one since it's been, quite a while. But I will get back to that eventually. But in the meantime, I have something to show you this time around. A few weeks ago, a tablet company reached out to me and sent me this for free to review here on the channel. And before everyone gets all up in arms and says, "Icey, you sellout! I thought you were cool!" First off, I do have to point out that this is in fact not a paid promotional video. No one is paying me to do this. I was simply sent this to review and give my honest opinion on it, both the good and the bad, to see whether or not that this is something that I can legitimately recommend to you guys. So, without further ado,
my name is Adu.
Let's get started. This is the Parblo Intangbo SW wireless graphic drawing tablet. And first impressions, the packaging on this box is pretty solid. It kind of gives off that like art supply case that you'd find at like Hobby Lobby, and as for packaging, it's a very nice touch. First off, you got the tablet itself, the hard pen, along with other accessories like the USB charging cord, along with the OTG adapter, which is useful if you want to manually hook up a tablet or even your phone to this thing, along with 6 replacement pin nibs, and of course the manual. But yeah, who needs that stuff anyway? I mean, it's not like we're going to be running into any kind of problems, right? Right? Now, let's take a look at this bad boy. And here we have it. Now, this is the Intangbo SW model, which comes in 2 colors, black or purple, or lilac for the snooty artists out there. And personally, I went with the purple. Mostly because I don't want to lose my tablet amongst my other desktop stuff, which is all, as you guessed it, black. And being that I don't want to be like, oh no, that's my computer, no, that's my keyboard, that's my mouse, that's my phone, and oh, there it is! And as you can see, it's got 6 hotkeys that you can be able to use and customize to your heart's content, but you will need to download the tablet's driver software in order to even enable these customizations, as well as mess around with the pen pressure sensitivity and so forth, which I'll go ahead and put in the description below. Also, there's this little rotating wheel and button that, no joke, I just spent 10 minutes just fooling around with alone just because it kind of looks like I'm cracking a safe. I will unlock your secrets, tablet. Show me! Well, what you're actually supposed to do is you press the middle button, and there are 3 different settings if you want to zoom in, change the canvas size, or just change the brush size, etc. Then you've got the wireless pen itself, which has 2 buttons on it as well, which can also be customized, along with the USB charging port, power button, and the reset port, if you ever want to stick your pen in it if you mess around with editing settings, like I did. As for the specifics on this thing, the tablet itself is about 7 by 4 inches and 8 to 10 millimeters high. The pen itself does not use any batteries, which is a good thing. And it's weighing at a whopping 350 grams! Oh, and has over 1,600 levels of pen pressure sensitivity. 350 grams! And like I said earlier, this tablet is Bluetooth enabled, so you can be able to use this wirelessly with both your computer, tablets, and even your phone. Also, here's just a small list of software that is, compatible with it, but there are other things that are not listed on thing, like, say, I've used it with Metabang Paint Pro, Fire Alpaca, and even MS Paint, and it works fine with all of them. As well as the operating systems that it's compatible, like Windows 10, 11, Android, Mac, and even Harmony OS, etc. The tablet itself also has 2 settings. One side is for traditional desktop use, and the other one you can be able to flip it on its side for tablet use. Now, before we begin actually using it, I will say that, full disclosure, it has been a while since I've used a tablet like this. The majority of the time whenever I am drawing, I tend to use either my computer's default touchscreen, or I just use a mouse. Which sounds cool at first because, the computer sounds like a gigantic on-screen tablet, but the major downside with these specific models, or even like most touchscreen enabled tablets or phones or etc., is that Even when you're wearing an artist glove, it still kind of does not register and you can't rest your hand on it. And so lines can be able to pull it up whenever you don't want it, or it'll accidentally flip the screen. Plus, if you're using a touchscreen or a mouse, the major downside is that there is no pen pressure sensitivity using this method. I did purchase an on-screen tablet well over a year ago, but unfortunately the graphics driver on my computer was not compatible with it, and it nearly crashed it. So yeah, that's a no-go. The closest thing that I've had to using a tablet like this was way back in 2012, when I had my family's hand-me-down Windows XP computer. And my old tech mentor from my church gave me a free gray drawing tablet, which at the time was pretty cool. But since this was a specific older model that was given to me for free with no extra software, it does not have any pen pressure sensitivity, and the model was so old that, again, does not have any previous driver software. And keep in mind that this was also the early days of my digital art career, so these are just a handful of things that I had made with said tablet, and yeah, I think we can do better. So, now with everything out of the way, I think it's time we finally use this bad boy. Let's do this! Okay, up, up, up. I said up, down, left, right. Son of a... Okay! So there's a bit of a learning curve. So it turns out reading the manual is essential.
Dagnabbit, nobody ever reads the manuals!
First off, in order to switch from desktop mode to tablet mode, you have to press these two buttons, or at the very least, two random buttons, simultaneously in order to switch from one mode to the other. And lastly, I ran into one of the specific problems where I tried to use my default art program, Metabang Paint Pro, and the software wasn't registering the tablet. Thankfully, I was able to figure it out, but if by chance you run into the same problem, here's what you do. Most art softwares have a brush environment setting, and all you have to do is click on that, click on Validate Native OS Pen Pressure Detection. Then, if you have Windows like me, you go over to Windows Ink, click on Use my pen as a mouse on some desktop apps, restart the computer, and it'll finally work. So yeah, had to go through most of that in order to even use it. Great start. But hopefully you guys won't run into the same mistakes I did. So now, it's time to finally use the thing. Right off the bat, I will say that using a tablet like this is going to be a bit of a trial and error process. Because unlike your phone or tablet, or even like a monitor-based tablet, you don't have access to an actual screen. But instead, it's primarily used as like a pseudo mouse, if you will. Luckily, unlike most phones or tablets or any other touchscreen device, these particular models you can be able to rest your hands on them even without a glove, and you don't have to worry about it glitching or doing anything else with it. You can be able to rest your hand on it comfortably, and it's definitely a lot more cumbersome for, just traditional artists. It's just a matter of hand-eye coordination training at that point. So to test this thing out, I'm primarily going to be focusing on line work, as this is the first time I'm legitimately using pen pressure sensitivity to actually draw these lines. And also, full disclosure, the thumbnail that I made for this video was made roughly about a week or so ago in advance when I was told that they were going to send me this. Mostly just to save time, but instead of sketching something from scratch, I'm just going to be redoing the line work and then coloring it using only the tablet, and then putting them back to back for comparison. So now, let's get started. As you can see, I decided to go with a thicker brush stroke than the original. I think I set it to 3.5, and this one's like a 5. I did eventually go smaller when it came to the inside and the hands and the face though. For the tablet portion of this drawing, I just decided to cheat. So I just copied and pasted that one from the original. Yeah, I was just a little too lazy. In the end, this was the final result for the line work. For the desktop mouse version, you could definitely tell there's a lot more precision and straight lines, and it looks a bit more clean. However, the Parblo tablet has a bit more organic lines, but it is a tad wobbly in some areas. However, the feel for making the line work felt a little bit more natural when drawing it. Because with a mouse, there is a certain technique that I've used to give off the illusion of brush depth. Normally, I just go over the exact same lines, erase some parts, or even just like adding more to it so it doesn't look too flat or it has some form of depth. So for my personal experience, you have two options. If you go with a traditional mouse, you can be able to get more precise line work because it's just the one that I've been used to for all this time. But if I want my line work to seem like more organic or natural, like actual brush strokes, and the feeling it has of actually holding a pen and resting it down, then I would go with the tablet. I think I can definitely see myself using this tablet for sketching purposes, as I don't really have to worry about how clean the line work has to be, and I can just go over the exact same spots without, worrying about messing up too much. So, what are my final thoughts? I'd say for a budget tablet, and a wireless budget tablet at that, you can be able to connect to both like the desktop, laptop, tablets, and phones. It's a pretty solid deal. The Parblo Intangbo SD will run you about $59 USD. However, if you go onto their website, you'll see that they have a 30% off code if you order it off of Amazon, which is I'll show up here on the screen and put in the description below if you guys want to check it out. I will say though that this tablet is primarily for artists just starting out. Is it better than a full-on display tablet? No. But if you want to go out and buy an on-screen tablet with this type of functionality and a battery-powered pen, the most you'll be looking at is roughly about $150 USD bare minimum with varying quality. However, also Parblo does offer on-screen tablets as well. But if you're an artist just starting out and you're not 100% sure if you want to invest that kind of money into a tablet like that, I would highly recommend this. It's effective, it's cheap, and it helps you get your feet wet for the look and feel of drawing on tablets and digital art in general. So, once again, I want to thank the people over at Parblo for sending me this tablet. It is a huge honor. It's something that I've never expected to happen, like at all. Or anything art related to happen, because in hindsight, this is like an ASMR channel, and, I just don't really, get the feeling of art most of the time on this channel. So, and also it's a little fun to show you guys what goes behind the scenes when it comes to making the thumbnails, or even just like what I do in art in general. So, with that said, guys, as always, stay cool and take care.